Welcome back. Now that we have the Oracle database up and running, we have seen how to provision it. So once you have provisioned it, the database is up and running. So now, you can connect through the SQL, that is Oracle SQL, or if you want to build an application, then you can use the Oracle tool, which is Oracle Apache. You can build the application. So we will see what are the different ways through which you can connect to the Oracle Autonomous Database. This could be like towards learning SQL. Then you need to connect to the database to learn SQL or PL SQL, or you want to build up an application. Then there is a Oracle provided tool which is Oracle Apex. So what are the three ways? There are three ways, different ways through which you can connect. So the first one is through the dashboard itself. Get into the Oracle database, get into the dashboard, and then you can use the Web SQL client and access, which can be accessed from the OCA dashboard itself. You can call it as a client because client is when you have it as a standalone. If you're going to connect from your laptop, then you use the tool, then it becomes a client. So ideally this should be from Web SQL. So from Web SQL, which can be accessed from the OCA dashboard, you can connect to the database. That is one approach. The second approach is, of course, the Oracle SQL client, and this requires the SQL developer. You need to download the SQL developer from the Oracle site. From the e-delivery site, you have to download the SQL developer. That is the second approach. And the third approach is through the Oracle Apex. And again, this can be accessed from the OCA dashboard itself. So basically there are three different approaches. The first one and third one is from OCA dashboard itself. Dashboard in the sense, get into the database which is up and running, and then you get into the tools, associated tools, and then get into that. We'll see that. The second one, yes, it requires a standalone SQL developer which you can download from the Oracle site. You can get into the just Google it, and then you can download the SQL developer. Once it is downloaded, yes, there are steps. We'll see what are the steps, and then you can access the database itself. So there are three different steps. So we will see one by one. Let us now look at the first approach of connecting to the Oracle Autonomous Database. So first, we have the database up and running. We have provisioned it and it is up and running. So now we will try to connect to the database. So again, this one, the menus over here, it gets repeatedly changed over the period of time. What I saw in around 2020, 2019 is what the Oracle introduced the concept of free tier. Prior to 2019, it was all costed, or at the most it is just about 1 month of free. It can be accessed as a trial version, and then it was costed. 2019 September, I think, with that time with the Oracle world, they introduced sometime in September the free tier concept, where you can have up to 2 autonomous database with certain limitations, like the database size being 20 GB and OCA count as 1. You can have the always free tier as far as the database, whether irrespective of the workload type, whether you can have it as a transaction or warehouse. OCA count is 1 and storage is 20 GB. Auto scaling is disabled. It is always free. Same was with the case of the compute instance, that is virtual machine, 2 virtual machines. It is always free. So you can use them for I mean, as with the compute instance, I have even my website up and running. So there are options as well with the compute instance or the virtual machine. You can utilize it effectively even with free tier. So now coming back, if you look at it, all this menu have changed over the period of time. I believe it will keep changing as well, with better features, with more features. They keep changing. So database, you get into the database actions, and that is where you can see that you can access the SQL client. It will also have the access to the Oracle Apex, and lot more features are now into that. So we will see that. Now this side is what is the development. So you'll see SQL developer. Then you have over here, you have on the right, you have the Data Studio. The first one is the SQL. We'll see how to access through the SQL, that is to execute query scripts and browse, manage a database object, load, create charts. So we'll click on this. So this is a web edition. We are still through the dashboard. We have not downloaded any of the SQL developer client. So this is from the OCI dashboard itself. So click on the SQL, the SQL window, and you will see the navigator. So here you will see all of the this is a schema, different schema. So admin schema, there is nothing, no tables. There is, if you want to look at it, there is SH schema which comes with the autonomous database, and there are some tables which is visible, like channels, cast countries. Suppose if you want to do a select, let me key in select star from sh dot I'll say customers. So execute this run statement. This is executing, and you get all down under, you have all the results coming in for the customer table. So this access is basically through the web edition of SQL. So I mean, if you compare, if you have used the Oracle SQL Developer client, it has lot more features compared to the web edition. But I think Oracle will further do some development at some stage. They will have the client version, the SQL Developer client, and what you have it in the web will almost be same. That is what I feel. Over the period of time, maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line, or couple of years down the line, what you have in the client version of SQL Developer, you might have something similar in the web edition as well. But as of now, I mean, feature wise, there are limitation, but it's quite a handy tool. If you don't want to use the client version, you can still use the web version of the SQL Developer to query the details or perform any SQL operation like creation of the database, or to perform any insert. You can still use the web SQL Developer. So this is one approach through which you can connect to the database, autonomous database, that is through the web SQL developer. We will, I mean, in the subsequent presentation, we'll also see how to use this SQL developer, which is a client version, and connect it to the autonomous database. Stay tuned. So having seen the web-based connecting to the database to the web-based SQL developer, there is another option is through the client-based SQL developer tool, which is much more versatile because Oracle, of course, spent time in developing it. So about a couple of days, I mean, couple of years, a couple of decades, I would rather say, couple of decades back, I mean, around 2002 and 3, if you have been the developer those days, Toad was a tool called Toad, T-O-A-D. Toad was what was a better tool to interact with the database. Otherwise, Oracle had, if you are using SQL plus, it was just a simplest way of interacting with the database with TOAD, that is Toad. It was better as a developer. People used to use Toad. But then over the period of time, they started using Oracle develops SQL developer, and in the last 1 decade or so, either they will be using Toad or SQL developer to use, it is used to connect to the database. So even the cloud database can be connected from the client through the SQL developer. So to do that, yes, you need to get into the database connection and you need to download the wallet file because that has the information to connect to the database. So you need to download that file. So get into the database connection and instant wallet. So it gives you the detail. So download the wallet. So I'm going to download. Just give the password, create a password. So some database requires the password. So just give the password whatever you had used for creating the database. So better to use that. So this will download the file, the database file. So ensure it is downloaded completely. So once it has downloaded, you need to appropriately move this file into a folder so that it is accessible. Now I get into the SQL developer client, having already downloaded the DB wallet. So let me open up the SQL developer, which is the client version, which is on my laptop. So I'm going to open the SQL developer. So this is opening up, and again, depending upon the laptop speed, this might take a few seconds to a few minutes, and then the SQL developer will open up. Now we have the SQL developer client already opened up. Now we will, on the left hand window pane, we will create a connection. So create a connection in the sense providing the details of give it a name. AutoDB is there. I'll give another name. I'll say so give another name. Autonomous DB, that's the name. And how do I want it to connect? So give that. While important point to note here is whatever the password, user ID and password username you had given for admin, that is what you need to, that is during the provisioning of the autonomous database, same password needs to be provided. You would have already during provisioning, if you recollect, the admin and the password we had set, same password needs to be provided. So provide that password. So I'm going to provide that password, and then what you want to do is cloud wallet. That is what we have downloaded. So choose connection type as cloud wallet, and wherever this file is present, so same file you need to browse, and I have it on the my F drive. So I have to choose my F drive. I have it in the DB wallet. So choose the DB wallet and provide the zip file. So service, there are different type: Oracle DB high, medium, and low. I'll keep it as high. So first let us test the connection, and then we will save it. Test connection. So this will say either if the testing connection is the status is success. That is important. Then you will be able to connect. If it says if error is reported, then you need to troubleshoot. Generally, yes, you shouldn't face any problems. If you're having the correct correct wallet is there, you should get it as success. Now let's save it. Save this one. You'll have it on the left pane also. You'll have autonomous DB. So now we'll choose that and connect to that database. So okay, password I have not provided, so because I saved it, you need to provide the password. So I'll give the password. And then try connecting. So this should take some time before it gets connected, maybe few seconds. And once it is connected, if you click on the positive sign here, plus sign, it will give all the objects. So we'll wait for that to turn so that all the objects are listed. Okay, now it is connected to the database, that is the cloud autonomous database. You will see the Oracle users, and if you recollect correctly, under SH schema there were different tables in the schema. If you look at the tables, you'll find we actually did select from customer tables. So this is the table. Customer table is what we saw the data. So we can even either do a select. You can issue a select statement, or get into the data, and it has all the data. So this is through the connecting through the SQL developer client database. And suppose if you want to do a select statement, so go to the tools, and then SQL worksheet, select connection, autonomous database. So now you can issue the select statement as well. Select select star from sh dot customers it's already providing the download, so we will use that. So from the SQL worksheet, we just ran this statement. and we got the result. So select star from SH customer, and we have the results over here. So that's how you need to connect to the database, that is Oracle Autonomous Database, using a client version of SQL Developer. I hope you found this presentation interesting as how you can connect to the autonomous database using a client version of SQL Developer. Thank you. Stay tuned. This is one approach, and through the Oracle Apache, which is again a web tool through which you can also access the autonomous database as well. We'll see that as well. Thank you. The third method of accessing the Oracle DB is through the Oracle Apache. That is again about for any kind of an application development. So earlier we saw how to access through the SQL. One is through the web SQL, which is from the OCI console itself. Other one is through the client version of the SQL developer. And the third one is, of course, you can use Oracle Apache to access the database, and not only that, you can develop the application as well. That is what is provided. Log into Oracle Apps, develop, run, reach low code web applications. So you can, you can use SQL, PL SQL, the Java scripting. You can combine that with minimal effort. You can do that. But of course, the development of Apache is beyond preview. Beyond this course scope. I'll not go into the details as how you can develop Apache, Oracle Apache based application. But just just wanted to keep you posted. I mean, it's a Oracle Apache. One is that you can access. Number two is that it has the data sets as well, different data set like see, suppose if you want to learn SQL, then probably what you need to do is you need to create tables, you need to populate data. So all this, if you have a readily built data set, it is far more easier. So Apache has this feature or facility wherein you can have a data set, and that data set can be inserted into the Oracle database schema. So I'll click on Oracle Apache. The first time when you do that, you need to create a workspace. So first time you need to create a workspace. That is where it says administrative services, welcome to Oracle. Please sign in using the administrator password for the autonomous database. So once you log in, you need to create the appropriate space, which will be like a schema. That is where all your tables are going to get created. So first time, you need to create the space and the user you need to create. So for that, whatever is the password, the admin password, that is what you need to provide. Sign in. Welcome to Oracle Apache. Before getting started, take a moment to create a workspace. A workspace is a shared workspace with multiple developers to build up. Once created, sign in to the workspace, begin building the application. So I will say create workspace. So how do you like to create the workspace? Associate. So there are two now. The options is also there. You can do it with a new schema or with the existing schema. Associate the workspace with the existing schema. So both are now possible as well. So let me, just for our own purpose, let's create a new schema. So workspace, I will say workspace DB. And what I'm going to do is I'll give user 1 and whatever is the password for that. So creating the workspace. So workspace created, sign out of the administrative and sign in into WSDB to begin building the application. So what I'll do is I'll log out from this. I'll say sign out, return to sign in page. And now if you see, it is asking for DB and user 1 and my password is so this takes first time logging in, it should take a few seconds to a minute. Yeah, we are there, almost there. So again, it has the worksheet as well. You have the object browser over here. If you go to the object browser, let me change this. This is in, think I'll make it bright. Yeah, that will be better. I think that's what I believe. So object browser, tables. Currently we don't have any tables. If you have created tables, because we are on WSKP, when you go into the SQL, you'll know that WS. This is the schema in which the user 1 is associated. It is not the any other schema. It is the WKSP WSDB. That is the schema. So one thing over here is, if you look at over here, go to utilities. I just want to show the data set. Okay, I think I got the wrong menu. I think you need to go to this utilities, not this one. Just go to SQL Workshop and then into the sample data set. This is very handy, particularly if you want to learn about SQL, or even if you want to build some applications. So for the time being, employee and department, we will try installing it. So you should have in your schema, that is WSDB schema, this will populate the employee table and the department table. So it will create these two tables and a view as well. So install the data set. So this is getting installed along with it creates the database, and yeah, it is done. I'll say exit, and so it gives the time on the schema in which it is created that. So now we'll go into the object browser, and now you have two tables, employee and the department. So if you can also look at the data as well in that, whatever is the data is created. And similarly, it also created a view as well. So you can see that view as well. So this is a kind of a, if you look at, you can even look at the, should be able to look at the code as well. So if you want, you can download. Yeah, this is the, if you're good in SQL, you can, this is the SQL DDL statement where it is based on the employee and the department table, the view is created. So this is one more way of communicating with the autonomous database. This is a native tool of Oracle. So you can use Oracle Apex itself to build application, web application, that's possible. Otherwise, yeah, you want to communicate with SQL, you can do it through the cloud console itself. That is first option. The second option is, of course, use the SQL developer client version, and the third option is Oracle Apex, through which you can access that. And you can always use this data set. That is what I felt it is handy, quite handy. You can, particularly if you want to learn something, yes, you need data set. So you can use this data set which is provided by Oracle itself. So you can so that you can have all the objects, views created, and even you can populate the data as well. So this way you can use the Oracle Apex to communicate with the autonomous database. So as we have seen, you can use the SQL from the cloud console, Oracle console, Oracle Cloud Infra console, or from the SQL developer client version. You can connect to the Oracle Apex, or you can use the Oracle Apex to build your application. Thank you. Stay tuned.